What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you part 5 of 6 on how to achieve optimum health, and we are going to be discussing thought, all right? How to control and condition your mind so that you can begin to get the results that you are looking for. Now, first and foremost, I need to preface this by saying by no means am I a master of this field. I wouldn't even consider myself exactly proficient yet, but definitely more so. I mean, I would say I'm getting into proficiency, becoming more advanced, but definitely not a master, because I think mental mastery takes a whole lifetime and maybe even more, if you believe in that, to master, because depending on your upbringing, depending on the influence, the environmental influences, your DNA, your genetics, and what type of mind you were born into, right? It will largely determine and dictate the type of results you get from disciplining your mind, similar to how your genetics will dictate in large, the type of body you can build if you're into bodybuilding. But without getting too far into those theories and those concepts, I want to share with you some powerful knowledge that I've accumulated over the past and over the short amount of years that I've lived studying mental sciences, studying how to, have mastery over the self, because being able to control your mind, being able to direct your mind, being able to manage your mind is such a powerful skill, because the mind can take you anywhere and everywhere. And if you do not control your mind will control you, all right? Very, very powerful. Think of it as like a wild beast, okay? A wild beast that you were given at birth, and this beast can take you anywhere. Only if you can train it and discipline it. If you don't train it and discipline it, it will run you around like a bull, right? It will jump and bounce and try to get you to go anywhere that your mind is trying to get fixated on, right? And that's some of the concepts that I want to discuss today, right? The symptoms, the dangers of not properly controlling and disciplining your mind, which I'm sure you're very well aware of, okay? And then afterwards, I want to discuss, some more tactics on controlling your mind, and also understanding why is your mind out of control? Because if you can understand and recognize the symptoms of your crazy mind, and then you can understand why it's going out of control, then you can develop more awareness, which is key, which is what I'm about to share with you, is the key to controlling and disciplining and developing the mind that you want, okay? So let's get right into it. I'm going to read off of this because I have a lot of notes that I took, and the mind itself can be hours upon hours upon hours of videos, which I can't exactly make at the moment because, one, my experience with the mind is limited. But here's the thing: if you study the mind from masters that have transmitted the knowledge from generation to generation, you have taken the wisdom and experience of the generations before you and instilled it to you. So even though my experience is not where I want it to be, I can assure you that it is the accumulation of the masters of the past. And although I may not have obtained the results of the masters of the past, if I keep applying and practicing the knowledge that I'm about to share with you today, down the line, I will have and experience what the past have experienced, and maybe even more, who knows. But before I share with you those secrets, let's go into the symptoms of not being able to control your mind, right? So the very first and obvious one is going to be compulsive thoughts, right? Compulsive thinking, which often leads to anxiety, which many of us experience, anger, depression, frustration, fighting straw men, which basically means you're conjuring up information in your head and your mind, and then you're fighting straw men in your mind, right? How many times have you thought of this situation, this scenario where you're arguing with your boss or a family member or someone who disrespected you and walked over you or took advantage of you, and now you're fighting them in your mind. You're trying to conjure up that situation. You're using your imagination to win the situation that doesn't even exist. Or you're just imagining a hypothetical situation that doesn't even exist. And oftentimes, the reality of the situation is completely different from the way you imagined it. That is a symptom of not being able to control and direct your mind, okay? Sadness, right? Thinking of too many things that make you sad, which is often self-sabotage, right? Thinking like, I'm not good enough, this is wrong about me, I'm not disciplined, I'm a loser, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm stressed, I'm depressed. That is a very clear symptom that you are not controlling your mind and that your mind is controlling you, because it's expressing to you a bunch of negativity that you do not want, okay? Which oftentimes leads to rumination as well, okay? Rumination is basically when something repeats over and over and over again and you can't control it, right? You can't stop it. Now, I've had this happen to me in the past, not so much recently, so I can't exactly, I do have some tips and tricks, which I didn't even write down, but I'll give it to you right now. In my opinion, the times that I have ruminated in the past and the ways that I have stopped it, you can't always stop rumination, because once it's on repeat, you need to allow the half-life, right? You need to allow the time span of it to play out. But one way you could potentially stop rumination is through your body. You can't stop rumination by your mind through thinking about how to stop it. You have to radically change your physiology through your body, taking a cold shower, jumping in an ice bath, just pounding and screaming catharsis, right? Watch Elliot Holst's videos, catharsis, primal therapy, where you're just radically pounding and shouting and screaming and getting all that out, okay? Because you cannot change your rumination. You cannot stop rumination with your mind, because your mind is ruminating. You need to snap out of it with your body, all right? And changing your physiology is the way to go, okay? Compulsive behavior, so we had compulsive thoughts, and then compulsive behaviors where you're constantly doing something a certain way or needing it to be a certain way, which I remember when I was young, I needed to turn off the light in a certain way. I had to use both hands to turn it off. I had to, and if I didn't do it correctly, I had to do it again and again and again. It was literally OCD, and that was the only time I experienced OCD. I don't know why. Eventually I got myself to stop. I don't know how, but I had OCD in the past, and this often leads to impulsiveness. You have an impulse, you follow it. I want to eat ice cream. Watch or eat ice cream, and you go out and eat it. You want to watch porn, and then you go out and watch porn. You want to do this, and you go out and do this. Impulsiveness, impulsive behavior. And then you have addictions, right? Which I have a lot of experience with. You are addicted. You are hooked onto something, right? You can't get yourself to stop no matter how hard you try. And then poor self-care, compulsive behavior. You're not able to take care of yourself because you're not able to control and direct your mind the way you want it to be, okay? Restlessness, too much thinking leads to not being able to sleep. Mind activity is just way too much, right? Too much beta waves. Instead of that alpha, nice, slow, just present mood. And then chaotic moods where your moods are all over the place. All over. Guys, hold on one second. I need some water. I'm gonna drink my gallon of water. BPA free, I probably shouldn't be drinking out of that. More like out of a glass, right? It's not beer, by the way. But yeah, once I made that water video, I was like, even though it's BPA free water, probably shouldn't be drinking out of a plastic bottle. Awareness, which is very key, okay? Okay, so before I give you more of the secrets, I want to talk more about the mind. Why is the mind out of control? Why is our mind nowadays overactive, hyperactive? Why can't we control our mind? Why is it so difficult to control our mind? Number one, too much stimulation. You see this device right here? This thing you're watching? It's good you're watching me, but chances are you've been watching something on social media before this, chances are you've been doing some things online that you probably shouldn't have to be doing. And if not, then props to you. But maybe you've been watching cat videos. Maybe you've been watching the news. Maybe you've been learning something online. You've been trying to figure out how to run your business. Maybe you're just consuming way too much information. And even though you're listening to me right now and you're like, yeah, this is good information. Guess what happens if you don't apply the information? It goes in one ear, whoop, and then pooh, and it goes out the other, right? One quote that stuck with me when a motivational speaker spoke at my college, right, back in San Francisco, he said, information without application leads to infatuation, okay? You'll feel good about it. You're like, yeah, some good info. But as soon as I finish this video and you click out of it, you're on to the next video. Trying to learn more, consume more, stimulation. And then now your mind, similar to your computer, has a bunch of open tabs. And if you don't close those tabs, they consume memory. They consume literally brain power because the tabs, the open loops have not been closed. And if the open loops have not been closed, in the back of your mind, in the back of your brain, you have a bunch of activities that you need to do, right? Too many open tabs, too many unfinished loops inside of your brain. I need to do this for my work. I need to do homework. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to take care of my health. I need to exercise. I need to get my, my food together. I gotta talk to this girl. I gotta talk to this guy. I got way too many things to do in here. And then your mind is just overactive and your body, if you're not exercising it, is underactive. So you have this overactive mind, underactive body, and there's a huge dissonance, cognitive dissonance going on with your brain and your body, and you are going crazy, right? You are literally going crazy because there's so many things you need to do. There's so many things you need to give your mind to, but because you've opened way too many and you don't know how to properly close them out, you are suffering from a lot of anxiety, right? A lot of compulsive thoughts, a lot of rumination because there's just way too much things open in here. There's way too many things you've consumed that you have not properly metabolized and synthesized and experienced and integrated into your body. You haven't embodied the knowledge, right? The reason why I can share this stuff with you is because I've internalized it. I've embodied it. I understand that if you don't control your mind and you feed it too much information, you stimulate yourself too much, it just becomes chaotic, right? So when there's too many things lingering on in the background and you don't close out the open tabs and you don't finish off the open loops, right? There's a concept in psychology, I believe, where it's like the loops are open still, unfinished business. This leads to anxiety attacks, overwhelmment, feelings of just, there's too much. There's too much. I don't even know where to start. You want to start your business, but you can't because you're overloaded with information, analysis paralysis. There's just way too many things you need to do. Anyone who's trying to create a business, they're like, I need to create a website, I need to find a domain name, I need to learn how to market, I need to write a landing page, I need to learn sales copy, I need to do this, I need to do Facebook ads, I need to build an audience, I need to write a blog post. How the hell are you going to do anything if you have this much information inundating your mind? And on top of that, if you're not following the health principles, you're not eating right, you're eating a bunch of junk, that's more information your body and mind needs to process, all right? Not even talking about food. And then when you're not breathing right, when you're not moving your body, when you're not sleeping right, can you see why your mind is so restless? Can you see why your mind is so out of control? Can you see why you aren't able to get anything done? If you can see it and you're aware of it, keep listening, my friends. Keep watching. I got some great stuff to share with you, all right? And then one last thing before I get you to do some exercises so that you can finally internalize and experience what I'm talking about, right? So with all these open loops, with all these open tabs, it leads to anxiety attacks, overwhelmment, feelings of stress, just too much. you end up pacifying yourself. What does it mean, right? You stroke yourself, right? You need to pacify yourself by doing what? By either taking drugs, smoking pot, which I've done a lot of, and still do every now and then, because there's too much information, right? I'm not gonna lie, there's still stuff I'm working on. Not as bad anymore, right? I used to smoke pot and do that a lot. Now every now and then, if I'm just out of it, I on the weekends I've limited to my weekends where I just have some edibles and drink some alcohol, or go out and buy some alcohol. Nothing crazy, but there's some stuff I'm working with. I'm not perfect. I'm not afraid to share that with you. I'm not invincible, guys. But as I've learned and studied this information more and more, it's become less and less. And that's what I want with you, right? As a fit, healthy person, it's not that I don't ever eat junk food. I just don't do it that often anymore, right? And that's different for someone who does it all the time, okay? So you try to pacify yourself through subservient behaviors. This could mean you overeat, overindulge, you stuff yourself too much because you're trying to calm yourself down. You're trying to pacify yourself, right? But you're doing it in unhealthy ways that end up stressing your body out more, which in turn affects your mind even more, okay? And if you don't follow these 6 health principles, it's this vicious loop where you're not getting enough sleep, where you're not getting enough good nutrition, where you're not breathing correctly, anxiety attacks, and when you're not moving your body enough, stagnant, stale, nasty energy, and you're not controlling your mind, which is this video, okay? So with all that being said, we've 16 minutes or so in. Let's take a moment to stop, all right? I want you to, for the next minute or two, I'm gonna read something to you, and I want you to close your eyes, okay? I'm sure you can do this anywhere. If someone's looking at you funny, who cares? Just pretend like you're sleeping if you're on the bus or something, or if you're at home, go find a place where you can lay down, or just find a place where you can comfortably sit down and just close your eyes and take in the information I'm about to share with you, okay? Because if you keep watching videos, if you keep clicking on to the next video and you keep going next, you're not gonna properly absorb this information. So if you want to properly learn how to control your mind and properly understand what I'm sharing with you, please listen to what I'm about to say right now and do what I'm asking for you, all right? Sit in a chair, close your eyes, find a place where you can just relax, okay? So once you've done that, if you haven't, go pause the video and find that. And if you are doing it right now, what I want you to do is just drop loose, okay? Drop your body loose, allow your head to rock back. And I want you to actually exhale all the air from your belly. Push out all of the air that you can push out until you can't breathe anymore. And then breathe in, push your belly out, fill your belly up as deeply and as long and as slow as you can, all right? Take the slowest inhale that you can. Hold your breath for a few seconds and then exhale completely as well. And I want you to do that a few times and just really push out all the air, retain the air, hold it for a few seconds and exhale again, all right? So really make sure you're breathing in, filling up your belly, holding it for a few seconds and then pushing out all of the air, okay? Close your eyes when you're doing this and then do this for the next minute or so until you really feel grounded within your body. If you're thinking too much, that's fine. Just pause the video, do this for a while, and then once you're ready, resume the video, and I'm gonna share with you the content. Okay, so do that right now. Pause the video, breathe for the next few minutes, ground yourself, and come back when you're ready, okay? Okay, I'm assuming that you did that now, that you're in more of a peaceful state, and if you aren't, still, keep your eyes closed and just pay attention to the words that I'm about to say with you. And just keep your eyes closed because you want to close the senses to everything else and you just want to listen to what I'm about to share with you, okay? All of your thoughts, memories, and experiences at one point in life get stored in your subconscious mind, all right? This makes up the contents of your mind. The subconscious and unconscious. All of your thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences at any point in time in the past get stored in your subconscious and unconscious mind. Whatever gets stored there isn't gone, all right? They'll often resurface as thoughts, memories, feelings, and sensations. And the more traumatic and habitual they are, the more often they'll repeat as unfinished loops, unfinished business, open tabs, and at greater and greater intensities, also known as rumination, okay? Everything you've experienced at one point in time, all the thoughts that you've thought, all the emotions that you felt, all the experiences that you've had, whether good or bad, get stored in your mind, in your body, as memories, right? And they're not gone. They will resurface. They'll come up again, right? Just think about the thoughts that you think over and over again. They'll come back again. They'll reemerge. They'll blossom back into those very thoughts and emotions and sensations in your mind. Do you understand this? If you do, here's some keys, okay? The key to breaking free is by developing awareness. Awareness gives you distance, all right? So if you have your eyes open, I want you to close them again, or if they're still closed, that's good. Keep them closed. The awareness that you have, if you believe in spiritual traditions, is what pervades your existence, okay? You are the awareness experiencing life. And if you don't believe me, whether or not you do or not, just use this as a hypothetical situation. I want you to think, are you aware of your body, or is your body aware of you? Are you aware of your mental thoughts, your mental activities, your feelings and sensations, or are those aware of you? Are you the observer, or are you the observed? If you are the observed, the experience, then you are not the experiencer, right? The experiencer. There's a difference. If you are observing something, that thing and the person observing it is two different things. And the essence behind spiritual teachings is that we are consciousness. And the more you stay in touch with that presence, that awareness, and the less you identify with the thoughts coming up in your mind, the more space that you have to act or not on these emotions. Let me give you an example. You can open up your eyes and see my beautiful face. This is very difficult and very advanced stuff, okay? Takes a lifetime to master. Let's say I'm working on my awareness. Just zone out, peripheral vision, watch, listen to me, watch me. At the same time as you're watching this screen, become aware of everything else that is going around you. Feel your toes, feel your body, feel the chair that you're sitting around in. Gaze your attention on the screen or one point on the screen. Listen to me while you're aware of everything in your surrounding. As you're in touch with this awareness, listen to everything that's going on, feel everything in your seat, and just become aware of the sensation that's going on, right? That awareness, the more you're connected with that awareness, the more you can step back and watch everything that's going on and feel everything that's going on, the more present and powerful you can be. Now, suddenly a thought might just arise in your mind. You might think of something while you're becoming aware of these, but you have to notice it, right? If you're speaking with someone, and think about it, you're speaking with a family member or a boss, I want you to think of a scenario where you got recently really upset, very triggered, very embarrassed, very resentful. Think of that situation. Feel that arise in you. As you're feeling that arise in you, watch it, observe it. That doesn't mean you don't feel it. But the idea behind mindfulness is you create a space, you create a gap, and the more advanced and skilled you become, the greater that gap becomes. And it arises like a thought bubble. It arises as a feeling and a sensation in your body. And here's where I want you to really understand. That does not mean the pain that you feel or the rage or the emotion that you feel when you're feeling these emotions goes away. That is not it. That is not it, right? Just because you can observe that you're feeling a certain way, just because you can see that you're getting angry, it does not mean you will not feel anger. It does not mean you will not feel frustration. It does not mean you won't feel irritated, upset, right? Or whatever emotion it is. It does not mean that, okay? It simply means you are aware of it, right? Feeling something and expressing the emotion is very different from feeling the emotion, observing it, and not expressing it. Does that make sense? The more you develop your awareness, the more space you have between it arising in you, the more time you have to control and to choose whether or not you want to express that emotion or not. If you can observe yourself getting triggered when your family member, your parents, or a loved one says something to you, the more you can observe yourself getting triggered, the more power, the more distance you have in choosing whether or not you want to express that or not. Does it make sense? That is the idea behind mindfulness and awareness training. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm aware of the feeling and I don't feel it. No, you feel it, but you have a choice to what you want to do with it. Does it make sense? I hope that gives you a very clear, because that is the key, right? The awareness. If you are consciousness observing what's going on, what you are observing is not you. So there's two, there's observer, consciousness, you, the real you, and then there's everything going on in the external world, which is related to body sensations, related to your mind, related to the things that you eat, the people that you surround yourself with. Your consciousness, the thing behind your eyes, which is not exactly your consciousness, but literally the sensation in your body, that consciousness is experiencing it, and that is different from what you are actually experiencing. Does it make sense? So once you can separate that, which isn't easy, guys, I'm not saying this is easy, I'm telling you, this is something I've been working on for many, many years. That's why I meditate. Meditation is very powerful. It gives you more distance to observe and create the gap to position yourself and give yourself a choice. Am I behaving in a way that is in alignment with my highest good? Not always the case. Sometimes you will watch yourself act on the emotion instantly, right? Sometimes there's no space. Sometimes you feel an emotion and you just go off on someone. But hey, that's fine. That's part of it. At least you're aware of yourself doing it. And then the next time, you'll catch yourself earlier and earlier and earlier, okay? Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, so that's one very powerful key in controlling your mind. Now, let me tell you the second powerful key that I learned. I forgot her name because it was like a Swami, right? She's a Swami. I'm not even gonna try. I'll put it up because I want to credit this information to her. When I learned this information, it is super, super powerful, and I'm sharing this with you with an open heart because, I always think about like, oh, what can I monetize? What can I make a program out of? But honestly, I care more about sharing information that can change people's lives. I care more about improving mankind, and the money will come. So I'm not worried about that. So I want to share this with you because she shared it with us, and this world should be one big happy family, and it starts with controlling our mind, starts with, enhancing our body and improving the health of our body and our mind and the world around us, okay? So very, very powerful concept. You've watched this far, about 30 minutes in. I know we're kind of deep, but, refresh your awareness, refresh your mind, move around a little bit, and really take in this information, okay? What I mentioned to you earlier about your thoughts, your memories and experiences, your feelings and sensations that you've experienced in the past, all of that makes up the content in your mind. But also what dictates what goes on in your mind is what you take in through your senses, right? What you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste, what you eat, right? What you touch, the 5 senses. Anything that you take in through your senses also becomes the contents of your mind. This is very powerful. Let me give you an example. Let's say the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, your mind fresh, you watch some news about how, there was a mass shooting, or you watch how this person did a, mass killing of kids, or raped a bunch of people, or, just did something really horrendous, okay? That's the first thing you watch in the morning. You go on the website, you watch, a bunch of pornography, X-rated films, things you aren't supposed to do. Now, I'm using pornography because I think it's the problem a lot of men face nowadays. Thank God I was able to shake that off, which I'll make some videos of if you guys are curious. And then you watch more things on Instagram, on Facebook, and you're taking in a bunch of information that is negative, all right? This person did that, this person does this. You watch a friend who's more successful than you, or you see people do things that make you, man, humankind is so bad, right? And then let's say you go home and your friends was like, oh, let's go watch a horror movie. And then I remember when I watched Insidious, right? You come out of it and you're literally scared to shits. You can't go to sleep at night. You're about to, at least for me, I was about to go to sleep and I'm just worried I get stuck in my mind, get stuck in my dreams, right? Lucid dreaming, but you're getting trapped in an external world and you can't come back, right? That scared the shit out of me, right? So you watch a horror film and you have all these things that you've consumed through your mind, through your eyes. You've watched it and it lingers. That makes up the content of your mind. Everything that you watch, everything that you see day to day, everything that you observe with your eyes, which you take in a lot, everything that you hear, right? If you're always being told, we all know the subconscious conditioning, if you've always been told you're never going to amount to something, you're undisciplined, you're stubborn, you don't listen to people, you're selfish, you always think about yourself, you always do this, you always do that. If that's all you hear, and then let's say your senses, right? You eat a bunch of junk, and then you smelling, there's not so much, right? You just smell shit, right? Or you smell bad stuff, but there's not so much that you can influence yourself with unless you're using essential oils or something. But everything you take in mostly through your eyes, what you hear, right? What you eat, all of these things that you take in through your senses make up the contents of your mind, right? Every thought that you've had, every experience, every memory, every sensation, every feeling, every emotion that you've had in your life gets stored into your subconscious mind, your unconscious. So if what you consume through your senses and the things that you do at your job every day, your activities, the things that you engage yourself in make up the contents of your mind, don't you want to be a little bit more careful with what you take in? Do you understand that? If I watch horror films and I can't go to sleep, if I consume news and I think the world is a bad place, if I watch pornography and I think women are objects that I need to have sex with and that's all I want to do, and if I watch cat videos and stupid stuff online, or if I learn about, how to rob a bank or conquer how do I do like crazy stuff? How do I build a bomb? If I learn certain things, if I consume certain things, if I learn about how to play a video game or how to be the best at a video game, whatever you consume through your senses makes up the content of your mind. That is very, very powerful. What does that mean? You need to, remember the key, the essence of who we are, awareness. You need to become more aware, more conscious of what are you consuming in your mind. What are you taking in through your senses? Just like your body, if you eat something unhealthy once or twice, you're going to feel bad, you're going to be like guilty and stuff. But what happens if you do it over and over and over again? Well, eventually your body gets fat. Eventually you might get diabetes. Eventually you might develop some sort of malignant tumor. You might get cancer. You might get some sort of physical illness. Well, what happens to your mind? You remember the symptoms I read? Compulsive thoughts, which lead to anxiety, anger, depression, frustration, fighting strawmen, sadness, self-sabotage, rumination, compulsive behavior, impulsiveness, addictions, poor self-care, restlessness, chaotic moods. Well, what about the more extreme things? If the body develops cancer, what happens to the mind? You might get schizophrenia. You might become a neurotic. You might have neuroticism. You might develop some sort of crazy just mental activity where you just can't control your mind, right? And then you kill yourself. Hopefully not. But do you understand what I just shared with you? Everything that you take in through your senses, everything that you engage in, the activities that you engage in every day, things that you observe in this world, things that you read about and learn about, they make up the contents of your mind. And the contents of your mind dictates the memories, the thoughts, the emotions, the behaviors, and the experiences ultimately you have. It's so simple, right? Oftentimes the most powerful things in the world is the most simplistic, just like working out and lifting weights. Good form, good nutrition, proper technique, and you will have a nice body. With this, now it just comes down to, one, become aware of what you are putting into your mind, just like you become more aware of what you put into your body for good health. And then you begin to feed your mind what you want it to produce. If I want to control my mind more, what do I do? What do I do, guys? I'm asking you right now. It's so obvious. You're doing it right now. You're learning about how to control your mind. But guess what? You probably learned how many times from the moment you were born? The ratio is probably like 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or maybe even 1 to 100 if this is the first time. But if you're watching this long and you're someone who's into education, then chances are if you've been exposed to programming the subconscious mind, you learned about this and that. This is the key. This is the secret here. Repetition, right? It's not something you just do once. That's why I had you close your eyes and listen to what I was saying. It's not just something you do once. You got to put in the repetitions for the bicep to grow, right? You got to repetition. Do it over and over and over again. If you want to learn how to control your mind, the most obvious thing is to watch more videos to learn more about how to control your mind, right? Learn more about psychology. Learn more about mental strength. Consume more material on mental strength. How do you become rich? You learn about how to become rich, how to build wealth. How do you have a nice body? How do you have six-pack abs, right? I don't know if you can see it. How do you have six-pack abs? Well, you got to develop your body. You got to develop your mind. It's not that hard, guys. I mean, it's increasingly simple, but it is not easy. It is a lifelong process, right? The yogis, the mystics, the people who are really good at mind control have developed their awareness, have meditated for so long that they have very powerful mind control. But at the same time, they also understand that they are cutting off the stimulus that gives them the negativity, right? If you want to stop seeing the world as such a negative place, what do? Well, first you stop consuming the news. I haven't watched the news in a while. I mean, when I go home, my parents watch it all the time, but I pretty much just zone it out, right? Coronavirus right now, for me, you'll probably think I'm silly, but I don't even think it exists, right? Even if it does, I don't care. I don't think it exists. I just block it off. It doesn't enter my mind, right? I don't let the mind virus, the viruses of other people, infect my mind. I don't let other people's sickness get into my body because I have a strong body. I have a strong mind. Sometimes, I mean, every now and then something catches in your mind and you're just ruminating and obsessing about it. That's why I'm saying I'm not a master yet, but I seek to become one by sharing with you these principles. So one, you stop exposing yourself to that negative stimulus. You stop watching news. You stop learning about the stupid politics, which I promise you are most often fake. Why are you reading articles and stuff that people wrote about something that may not even be true. The news is manipulated to create fear among people. And if you don't understand that, then you need some more mind control, because a lot of it is just fake news. That's why I don't watch it. And once you stop the stimulus, cut off the stimulus, and you're aware of what you're doing, now you have to program your mind by focusing it on what you do want to create, right? It's really that simple. Stop doing the things that make you feel a certain way, that cause you to think a certain way, that cause you to see a world in a certain way, and start watching videos and learning things like this that will cause you to do another way, right? It's really that simple. If you want to learn about health, you study health and you practice. If you want to learn about fitness, you study health and you practice. If you want to learn about how to gain more mental clarity, how to have more peace and tranquility and mental stamina in your life, well, you freaking learn about it, right? It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. So I'm beating a dead horse right now, but that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you gained a lot of insight, a lot of powerful knowledge in this video, because when I learned about that, I was blown away at how simple and easy it is. Now, or I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's pretty easy. It's something you have to practice over and over again, guys, okay? So with all that being said, watch this video again if you need to. Stop watching other videos after this. Just take a moment to really ground yourself in that truth that you are what you consume mentally, physically, spiritually, right? And once you have more awareness over that, once you have more control over that, then you can slowly, consciously direct your life to where you want it to go, okay? Long video, but education is power, and applied education is even more power. So if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, if you subscribed, because I'm gonna have a lot more good videos like this, and if you shared it with a friend, because a lot of us in today's society don't hoard this knowledge. I wanted to hoard my best knowledge, but we're all in this together, guys. If you benefit, the rest of the world benefits, okay? So share this video with someone that you love. Let them watch it, and I promise you the world will slowly become a better place, all right? So have a good one. Peace, love, respect.